I've never ordered from these folks before, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I went ahead and gave Aqua Huna a try. They were the only place where I could find a variety of the fish I was looking for from one location. I like to place as large an order as I can at one time. That helps me to save on shipping costs. The only fish they didn't have that I was looking for was a red-spotted gold severum, but they had pretty much everything else I was looking for, so I went ahead and placed the order. They included the usual information, live arrival guarantee, and acclimation information that you'll find on most orders that come in when you order fish online. Their packing was pretty standard: styrofoam lining, a large liner bag, and the fish put into separate little pouches, which definitely saves weight. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up this unboxing. You don't need to watch every step. Just know that all the fish that I ordered that I'm going to be showing to you in a second, all of them arrived alive and well. I went ahead and paid a little extra. Another thing that I'll admit appealed to me about Aqua Huna was that they didn't gouge me on the shipping. Most of these vendors don't. They just pass the cost of shipping on to the buyer. But Aqua Huna, for whatever reason, was charging around $30. They put the little heat pack in there, you can see. It was about $30 for shipping and $45, I think, for overnight. I opted for the $45 so I could get them the next day. I floated them for about 20-30 minutes, and you can see here they are in a 29-gallon holding tank. They're going to be quarantined in here for about 30 to 45 days. I've got a small group of redhead tapajos down there at the bottom, half a dozen of them, and a half a dozen rummy nose, and about a half a dozen celestial danios. I wanted to get fish that schooled and that was at different levels. The redhead tapajos not going to school too much, but the danios will, and so will the rummy nose. The danios will hang out more at the top of the planted aquarium, and the rummy nose will be more around the middle, so kind of fill in that aquarium. But you can see here, this is right after they've been released from the bags, and they don't look that worse for wear. I thought that the redhead tapajos would be a little bigger and maybe could go in with the redhead tapajos that I currently have, the one that survived that big long frost that I went through. But the truth is that these fish are pretty teeny, and I don't think that they're ready to go into one of the bigger tanks. I'm going to let them kind of sit in here for a little while, and I'll probably end up putting the tapajos in the 55-gallon planted aquarium until they get out to about 2 inches or more, and then consider putting them in with this guy. This is my survivor of my redhead tapajos. Again, after that big frost that I went through, this is the one that made it. There's also a Geo, a Sabinian here also to the left, who's hiding out in a big pit that he dug. But they're going to go in here, and initially the Geos will be hanging around the bottom. Hopefully they'll get along with the apistogrammas. And I'll have those rummy nose around the middle and the celestials around the top. I've got a couple celestial danios in here right now, and I just figured they needed some company. And I've got a couple rummy nose in here also that needed some company. They just do better in big groups. The redhead tapajos not necessarily need to be in a big giant group, but they can be aggressive with their own species, so it's usually a good idea to have a group of them to kind of spread out how they go after each other. But I think they'll do fine in here until they put on some size, and then I'll go ahead and move them over to that 60-gallon acrylic so they can live with that larger redhead Tapajos that I have right now. Redhead Tapajos, I think, are just a beautiful geo. My favorite geophagus. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in this tank. It's not really a sand bottom tank, so it'll be a little bit. They'll have to get kind of under those pebbles to sift the way they like to sift. But eventually I'll move them into that other tank where they have a play sand bottom and is perfect for a geo to sift around in. Have you ordered from Aqua Huna? What's been your experience with that company? Let me know in the comments below. I'm also still looking for some discus. I've considered several discus providers. A few of them were charging upwards of $200 to $300 for the shipping on 5 or 6 fish, and so that kind of stopped me. So let me know if you have any tips in the comments. Here are the fish 48 hours later. They're active, they're eating well, they're interacting well, and overall I am pretty happy with what I'm seeing. The rummy nose almost look like they're almost like a platinum. Love rummy nose, red nose, black stripes on the tail. The celestial danios are pretty teeny, a little hard to make out, but when you see them up close and in person, they're actually a very pretty fish. But they really are kind of a nano fish. You got to get up really close to see the beautiful detail on their body. But there you go. Just wanted to share these fish with you. My wholesale fish purchase. I think Imperial Tropicals in Florida is technically also a wholesaler since they sell to retail outlets. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you at the next one. Bye-bye.